Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, where we focus on timely, fact-based updates that matter. If you've been waiting for a major shift in the currency markets, what's developing now could be the turning point. Signals coming from the forex markets and several key banking systems suggest that the Iraqi Dinar (IQD) and Vietnamese Dong (VND) may be poised for a revaluation. And the most surprising part? This could take effect as soon as tomorrow morning in the United States. Over recent weeks, developments inside Iraq's financial sector have accelerated. Policy changes at the central bank, increased integration with digital systems, and new communications with international monetary institutions all point in one direction: monetary reform. The groundwork is being laid in a structured, transparent way, suggesting that the dinar is on the verge of gaining new recognition on the global stage. Analysts and investors alike are watching closely. If a revaluation takes place, even a minor rate increase could significantly alter the financial position of IQD holders. It's not just a small development. It's a possible economic pivot point. Vietnam's dong, often overlooked outside forex circles, is also attracting serious attention. Its valuation has long been considered artificially low due to regional factors and internal controls. But Vietnam's economy is on a fast growth track, evolving into a major manufacturing hub with investments flowing in from the US, Europe, and Asia. Financial strategists are reading this as a clear signal. The dong may be approaching its overdue monetary realignment. Stronger currency performance typically follows strong economic growth, and Vietnam is setting itself up for just that. Now, based on multiple banking sources and insider discussions within the forex environment, early tomorrow morning could bring a major shift. While no one can guarantee timing with absolute certainty, indicators are flashing. Unusual volume shifts, system upgrades inside top banking networks, and synchronized activity on global exchange platforms suggest something major may be unfolding. These types of synchronized movements rarely occur without underlying cause. If either IQD or VND undergoes revaluation, it could happen rapidly, overnight even, triggering a sudden leap in value. That's why awareness right now is so crucial. Understanding a revaluation is critical. It doesn't mean printing new bills or replacing money. It means adjusting the value of a currency upward relative to others. Imagine holding 1 million dinar. If a revaluation increases its global value by just a few cents, your holding could be worth thousands more in US dollars. That's the appeal for investors who've patiently waited for these currencies to reach fair market levels. But this isn't just about potential gains. It also carries the weight of responsibility and risk. Why would Iraq or Vietnam pursue revaluation? The answer lies in economics and reform. Iraq is aiming to evolve beyond its cash-based economy by introducing modern banking practices, increasing financial transparency, and improving investor confidence. To truly succeed, they need a currency that reflects progress. The same logic applies to Vietnam. As the country seeks more influence in global trade, a stronger dong enhances its credibility and strengthens financial stability. Both nations have recently implemented reforms targeting corruption reduction, inflation control, and financial system modernization, steps that typically precede monetary shifts. The role of the foreign exchange market is pivotal here. Forex is where global currencies are traded every day, with over $6 trillion, 0 cents, in daily transactions. When a currency becomes more attractive, demand rises, and with demand comes value. Lately, forex indicators have shown increased interest in both IQD and VND. That could mean insiders are positioning for change, or that speculators are reacting to credible hints. Either way, it points to a potential tipping point in value. Some have noticed inconsistencies in how banks have treated these currencies over the years. Publicly, many institutions dismissed IQD and VND, but behind closed doors, signs suggest a different story. As system updates roll out and currency desks shift posture, it becomes clear that banks may be preparing to handle revaluation quietly, waiting for an official trigger before going public. Remember who denied it, who stayed silent, and who told the truth. Financial transparency is key, especially when personal wealth is involved. If you're currently holding IQD or VND, this could be the moment you've been waiting for. Thousands of long-term investors have stayed the course, monitoring news, tracking economic indicators, and resisting the noise. With revaluation talk now heating up in official channels and financial sectors, that perseverance may finally pay off. But as this moment approaches, the most important thing you can do is stay focused. Avoid impulsive decisions. Do not rush to buy or sell. Don't fall for hype or panic. Strategic thinking will carry you farther than emotion. Everyday citizens, not just investors, should pay attention. A revaluation doesn't just shift investment portfolios. It can impact international trade, pricing at retail stores, travel budgets, and even the way currencies are exchanged in banks and airports. A stronger dinar or dong could create ripple effects in global markets. That means changes in product costs, supply chain pricing, and future economic outlooks. In an interconnected world, monetary adjustments in Iraq or Vietnam can impact economies across the globe. As we move into tomorrow morning, here's what you should focus on. Check your IQD and VND holdings. Ensure they're safe and secure. Understand where and how you'll exchange them if a revaluation is announced. Stay close to credible financial news sources, especially during early morning U.S. hours. And stay plugged into communities that are tracking developments in real time. People across Telegram, forums, and YouTube are pooling information, sharing insights, and helping others prepare. But always verify what you hear before acting. Now let's take a practical look at what a revaluation could mean for you. Suppose tomorrow you hear that the Iraqi dinar revalued by 50%. If you're holding 1 million dinar and it was previously valued at $800, that might now be worth $1,200.00. These are illustrative numbers, but the takeaway is clear. Even small rate changes can lead to noticeable gains. However, just as gains are possible, so are disappointments. If expectations fall short or revaluation is delayed, you need to be mentally and financially ready. Proper planning is more than just preparing for profit. It's about preparing for any outcome. Let's also consider how this could affect global travel. If the IQD or VND strengthens, travelers heading to Iraq or Vietnam may find their US dollars go a shorter distance. Hotel costs, meals, and daily expenses might rise because the local currency has more purchasing power. But for those holding revalued currency, it could mean better buying power abroad. Timing is everything. Whether you're exchanging currency for a trip or for financial planning, check rates carefully before making any moves. Missteps in timing have cost travelers dearly, and you want to be on the winning side of that equation. Here's a real-life example shared by one of our viewers. Months ago, they purchased several million VND while planning a trip to Vietnam. They had a hunch something might change in the currency market. Just last week, they noticed those same bills were already gaining value. If the revaluation becomes official, their travel experience could be significantly enhanced. More spending power, lower costs, and even the potential to return with unused funds worth more than before. This isn't just a theoretical shift, it's a scenario affecting real people with real results. Of course, risk is always part of the equation. Currency values are not guaranteed to rise. Political decisions, economic slowdowns, or sudden market reactions can shift everything. Governments have been known to delay revaluation plans or reverse course due to public pressure, inflation, or international agreements. That's why it's important to stay grounded, always perform your own research, understand what you're investing in, and never commit funds you can't afford to lose. Financial wisdom lies in balance, not fear, not blind optimism. Forex trading itself can be an eye-opener. Even if you're not a large-scale investor, understanding how global currencies interact can help you make smarter decisions. Begin by learning how interest rates, central bank policy, and geopolitical news influence currency strength. Follow statements from the Central Bank of Iraq and State Bank of Vietnam. Pay attention to signals from the IMF and regional financial authorities. The more you understand these movements, the more prepared you'll be when big news breaks. For those new to this, now is an ideal time to dive into financial education. There are countless free resources online that teach the basics of foreign exchange, market trends, and how to navigate economic changes. Join forums and watch videos, but always cross-rection facts before you act. In a space filled with hype, being the voice of reason will set you apart. Smart investors take their time, ask tough questions, and act only when it makes sense, not when emotions run high. And yes, rumors are everywhere. You may hear predictions, countdowns, or even claims that the revaluation is tied to political figures or global events. Some have tried to connect this movement to former President Trump or other world leaders as part of a broader strategy. But speculation, while entertaining, shouldn't replace research. What we do know is based on hard signals from the financial sector, not political guesswork. Stick to what's confirmed, and focus on what you can control. Remember, if this revaluation does occur, it will not just affect your wallet. It may shift regional economies, trade alliances, and banking protocols. A revalued dinar or don could impact how trade contracts are priced, how export agreements are calculated, and how money moves across borders. This is the kind of shift that financial historians will look back on, and you're witnessing it in real time. So, what's next? Monitor Forex activity, bank policy updates, and trusted financial outlets, especially through the morning hours in the U.S. when updates are most likely to break. Make sure you know where to go for a legitimate exchange. Keep identification ready, understand reporting thresholds, and avoid anyone offering secret rates or off-market exchanges. If someone promises a shortcut, it's usually a trap. Trust banks with proper foreign currency licenses and check with financial professionals when in doubt. As we wrap this up, keep your focus. Tomorrow may come with a quiet shift or an official announcement that validates everything we've followed for years. Either way, you've put in the time, stayed informed, and positioned yourself ahead of the curve. This is your moment to act, not with panic, but with purpose. Thank you again for tuning in to Iraqi Dinar News. If today's report helped clarify things, hit the like button, share this with friends who are invested or curious, and subscribe for continuing updates. We'll be tracking every development, especially during early U.S. hours, to bring you the fastest and most reliable breakdowns. Drop a comment below. Are you ready for revaluation? Holding dinar, dong, or both? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and keep preparing. The future of global currency is unfolding, possibly tomorrow.